Shub Psychology Podcast. My name is Yogendra, and in this particular podcast, we are going to talk about social anxiety disorder. Yes, social anxiety disorder. So, social anxiety disorder is one of the more common anxiety disorders, and it involves fear of embarrassment or humiliation in situations where you're exposed to the scrutiny of others or you must perform. And this fear is much stronger than the normal anxiety non-phobic people experience in social or performance situations. Usually, it's so strong that it causes you to avoid the situation altogether. Although some people with social phobia endure social situations, albeit with considerable anxiety. Typically, your concern is that you will say or do something that will cause others to judge you as being anxious, weak, crazy, or stupid. And this includes merely showing physical symptoms of anxiety such as blushing or sweating. Your concern is generally out of proportion with the situation and you recognize that it's excessive. Children with social phobia, however, do not recognize the excessiveness of their fear. To be diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, the fear must have been persistent for at least 6 months. Yes, the fear must have been persistent for at least 6 months. Social anxiety disorder is associated with increased likelihood of dropping out of school, decreased satisfaction and productivity in the workplace, lower socioeconomic status, and generally poor quality of life. The most common social phobia is fear of public speaking. Yes, fear of public speaking. In fact, this is the most common of all phobias, affecting performers, speakers, people whose jobs require them to make presentations and students who have to speak before their class. Public speaking phobia affects a large percentage of the population and is equally prevalent among men and women. Other common social phobias include fear of participating in meetings or any group setting, fear of blushing in public, fear of choking or spilling food while eating in public, fear of being watched at work, fear of using public toilets, fear of writing and signing documents in the presence of others, fear of crowds, and fear of taking examinations. Sometimes social phobia is less specific and involves a generalized fear of any social group situation where you feel that you might be watched or evaluated. When your fear is of wide range of social situations, for example, initiating conversations, participating in small groups, speaking to authority figures, attending parties, and so on, the condition is referred to as generalized social phobia. Common symptoms of social anxiety disorder include blushing, sweating, trembling, heart palpitations, and nausea. Many people who are unaware that they are socially phobic use alcohol to reduce these symptoms. Yes. They use alcohol to reduce these symptoms, which in some cases can lead to alcoholism. While social anxieties are common, you would be given a formal diagnosis of social phobia only if your avoidance interferes with work, social activities, or important relationship, or if it causes you considerable distress. As with agoraphobia, panic attacks can accompany social phobia, although your panic is related more to being embarrassed or humiliated than to being confined or trapped. Also, the panic arises only in connection with a specific type of social situation. Alright. Social phobias tend to develop earlier than agoraphobia, can begin in late childhood or adolescence, often age 8 and 15. They often develop in shy children around the time they are faced with increased peer pressure at school. Typically, these phobias persist without treatment through adolescence and young adulthood, but have a tendency to decrease in severity later in life. Alright. Social phobia affects between 3 to 7% of the US population and may be more prevalent among women than men. However, gender rates for clinical samples are higher for men than women. Though job parity for men and women is increasing, men still seek out treatment more frequently than women because of their jobs. Up to 14% of adults experience social phobia at some time in their lives. A significant percentage of people with social anxiety disorder are clinically depressed, have another anxiety disorder such as panic disorder or generalized anxiety disorder, or are dealing with substance abuse. Up to 50% of people with social anxiety disorder may experience spontaneous remission within 2 to 3 years. The other 50% can continue to experience symptoms for much longer without treatment. As with other anxiety disorder, there are both genetic and environmental components in the causes of social anxiety disorder. If one identical twin has the problem, the other twin is 30 to 50% more likely to have the problem. Heritability among first-degree relatives is 5 to 6 times higher than among unrelated people. At the same time, social anxiety is adoptive parent is significantly correlated with social anxiety in their children.